Hello and welcome back to Simple or Difficult. In this video, we're going to be talking about everything that has to do with sheets in Revit 2024. This video is going to be divided into 6 sections, and in the first section, we are going to try and understand sheets and view references. In the second section, we are going to be adding new sheets to our project file. In the text section, we are going to be adjusting sheet composition in our Revit project model. In the first section, we are going to be duplicating sheets and views, while in the fifth section, we are going to be discussing about a feature called filter by sheets. In the sixth section, which is the last section, we're going to be aligning views on sheets with a guide grid. So if this is something you'd like to see, keep watching, don't go anywhere. But before we go into this video, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and turn on notification because we drop videos like this on a regular basis. All right. So with that out of the way, let's get into Revit and start working with our sheets. When working in Revit, it will get to a point where you want to prepare your document sets. Then you have to set up sheets so you can place views on them. And also you want to coordinate those views on those sheets so that you can easily find the views that are referenced in one sheet to where they are located in another. Common examples of these are the section view. As you can see here, you can see the numbers on this section, or elevation views. When you come over here, you see the numbers on the elevation or callouts. Okay, these are places where you're required to show where those views are referenced. Like when you look at here, you see A301. This A301 means the sheets where they are referenced. All right. Now, when you get to, let's go to the sheet branch. This is the sheet branch. Okay, that's the sheet branch. When you come over here, you can see. You can easily tell the sheet that has something on it. Like this C101 has nothing on it. And these ones that has plus next to it or minus next to it has a view on it. All right. So this says sheet A301. So we'll find the A301 here. This is the A301. So when I open it, you're going to see this section view here. You're going to see the first one and the second one. Let me go back to that view. Sorry, I'm going to close this. Let me go back to this. See A301 here. This other one, you're going to see A301, 1 and 2. Okay. That is what I mean when I say cross-referencing. When you come over here, you see 1, okay, and also you see 2. Now, I want to add another view to this sheet. And how do I do that? It is as simple as drag and drop. I'm going to open the views. Okay, I'm going to go to the section view, section 4. Okay, this is this one that has no reference, and that means that is because it has not been placed on sheet. When you look at here, you will see the views that have been placed on sheet, and how you know them is by you see this blue badge, you see this one that is white, that means it's not placed on any sheet. You see this one that is blue, that means it is placed on sheet. And you can deactivate this by right clicking and clicking on this show view placement on sheet icons. Okay, but I like it. It is very, very helpful for me. When I'm working, I'll easily look at it and know the ones that are placed on sheet. So I want to place this section 4 on sheet. So I'll just drag it and drop it over here. Okay. Notice that when I'm placing it, it will try to snap into place. Okay. It will be snapping the geometry of this model to the one I'm placing. And that is very helpful while placing views on sheet. So when I drop it now, you find out that this LO3 is aligned to this LO3 over here. LO2, you can see that the heights of this level are relatively aligned to each other, which means that this view are also aligned. And now when I go back to this place, you find out that this particular section now has this cross-referencing on it, A301. So when I come over here, you see that this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, I want to introduce the view numbering on sheet. This is very helpful when it comes to cross-referencing. So when you come over here, you will see that you have 1, 2, and 3. So this will tell you that the first view on that sheet, that's the numbering on that sheet. The first view numbering on that sheet is this section. So when I come over here and look at this and I see this number 1, I already know that it is this, this section that is going horizontally like this. When I come back there and I see this one that is showing me, section 4, I come back here. When you're looking at this plan, you already know that it's this one that is going vertically. And then this one that is going through the staircase, you're going to see that it is the number 3. So what happens when I want to change the numbering of this staircase? I don't want this one. I want this to go 1, 2, and then 3 down here. How do I do that? It is very simple. Okay. When you bring in a new view to to this sheet, it is going to automatically be numbered. All right. But when you want to change it, you can change it by just selecting that view. Okay. When you select it and you come to the properties palette, you will see the detail number. Okay. When you click on it, you can change this number to whatever you want, but not the ones that are already taken. Like if I put one here now, it is going to tell me detail number is already in use. Enter a unique number. Okay. So I'm just going to close that and then I'll come back there and I put like number 5. When I do that, it's going to change it to number 5. Now that I've removed that number 2, I can now make this one number 2. So when I come here, I'll put number 2. And then when I come back here, I can now make this number 3. Okay. That is how you adjust your numbering to whatever you want. So you can make this adjustment with full confidence without worrying that it is going to be missed somewhere like it would if you are doing this manually by hand. So when I go to this place, you find out that this now is number 2, while this is number 1, and this is number 3. Cross-referencing in Revit is easy, it works, and it will guarantee you will have a full coordinated set with minimal effort. Now let's talk about how you can add a new sheet to this Revit project file. Okay, the template we are using already has lots of sheets. When you come down here, you're going to see lots of sheets that are already loaded into this template. Okay. That is the metric multidiscipline template. Okay. That's what we're using. And, this sheet, as you can see, has views already inserted in them. That is very good. It gives you something to work with, especially as a beginner. But then as you go on working in Revit, you find out that time will come when you will need to bring in your own sheets and insert views on them. So we are going to be doing that right now. So to import or to load in a new sheet or to create a new sheet, you come on top of this sheet and then right click, you see new sheets. All right. I'm going to click on the new sheet. You can select any one you want here. These are the default sheet that comes with the template. Okay. You can select any one you want here. If you want to create A1 metric, you can select it and click OK. And that it will do for you. But then if you want to load in a sheet, your company sheet or your client sheet that is not already loaded into this template, how you do that is you click on load and then you go to your document or wherever this sheet is located in. Okay, so I want to find this sheet. You see, I have this A0 and I have A1 metric. I'm going to select the A0 metric and I'm going to hit open. Now it has entered here. Okay, you can see A0 metric load in example. That is, the sheet I just imported now. So I'm just going to click OK now, and then you can see it has entered. All right. So now I want to rename this sheet. There are various ways you can rename this sheet. You notice that when I'm here, okay, this properties palette is showing me information about this sheet. You will see approved, you will see designed by, checked by, drawn by, sheet number, sheet name. Okay, now you can rename this sheet and you can renumber it from this properties palette. Or you can come down here, okay, and right click and then you can rename this sheet. Okay, so now notice that whenever Revit asks you to say, please endeavor to see that you save, it is going to save your life. Practically save your life. Okay, so when it's done saving, we'll continue. Now it's done saving. Now you notice that when I created this sheet, you see we have A1, A101, A102, A201. You can see all this sheet that we are having here. See, it is in A, but now when I created it, it creates it in C102. Okay, that is to explain this. It is simply how Revit does things. When you are creating something, Revit tries to number it based on the last one it created. Now, the last sheet that was created in this template is sheet C101. So now when I create a new sheet, Revit will automatically continue that sequence by creating a C102 numbered sheet. Okay. Now I want to show you something. Now let me say I come over here and I rename it. I want to rename it using this option. I'm going to renumber it and then I will rename it from this side. Okay, just to use these two. There is another option that we're going to explore, but just stay with me. Okay, so now I want to come over here and rename it, renumber it to A107. Okay, when I do that, you notice that that sheet has left here and it has gone up here. All right, so when you renumber the sheet, Revit automatically rearranges it for you in alphanumeric order. Okay, so now that I renamed this thing, you see it went up. So I'm just going to come over here, okay, to show you that it works too. I'm going to, in the sheet name, I'm going to name it new sheet. All right, when I do that, you notice that the name also changed here. All right, another way you can do this is from the title block. I can select this title block. For you to be able to do it, you have to select the title block first and then you click here. And when you click here, you can now name it whatever you want. Now I want to name it, the first one I just did is just, for an example. Now I want to name it floor finishes plan. I want to make this capital P, plan. All right. When I do that, you find out that it has changed here. It has changed. It has also changed here. Okay. And then I want to change this to a 701, not 107. I can do it from here. I can do it from in here. So I can just select this and then click here and call it 701. Okay. It's all the same thing. Either way you want to do this, it is all the same thing. Remember the first time we renamed the number, we will renumbered it from here. All right. So I want us to look at the things that are available on this sheet, the type of labels that we have on this sheet. There are some that are globally, that the effect is global. There are some that are, their effect is just on the sheets where you made them. Like take for instance, if I come over here, this drawn by, if I change it to OMC, okay, and then I change this checker to OPMZ, okay, you find out that when I come over to this other sheet, this power plan sheet, you find out that it didn't change anything. So if I want to change this, I will still have to come over here and type another OMC, okay, and then on this place, I'm going to type another OPMZ. You find out that the sheet title is unique to this sheet. The numbering is unique to this sheet. The drawn by and the checked by is unique to this sheet. Even the scale is unique to this sheet because from time to time, you have different drawings of different scale from one sheet to another. However, if I should change the client name or the project name or the project number or the project date, okay, those are global values and will be changed in all the sheets. Let's go ahead and do it. So when I come over here now and I call this thing PHS, okay, the client is PHS. All right. When I do that and I come to this first sheet over here, you're going to see that the client here has changed to PHS. If I change this project name to restaurant interior, okay, design, and I click out of here, it is going to, let me just reduce this. You get the idea. Restaurant interior, okay. Let me just call it restaurant interior. All right. You can actually very easily edit this thing. Okay. I can select, come over here, select it, use your arrow key to nudge it up. Okay. Nudge it up so that it doesn't interfere with anything. So you bring this one up a little bit. You might even select here. Okay. Come over to create and then add a line like so. Okay, it is very easy. Now you can load and close, select the restaurant full job and then say okay. And say no because I don't want to save this. I just want to load it into here. So when I do that, you see that we'll have enough space now. So I'll now come over here to the restaurant and write restaurant interior design. And when I do that, there's no problem whatsoever. Okay, you can also edit it and make the text a little bit smaller because it is going out of place. I can come here and I make it 8. Okay. And when I do that, I can actually come over here and make it bold. Okay. And then I'll load it in. The same thing we did before. Say no and then override. Now, when you do that, you see that it is looking better right now. So when I change this or change the project number, I can just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Or the project date, I can say December 2022. Okay, when I do that and I come to this sheet, you find out that we are having PHS, restaurant interior design. You see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you see December 2022. These are global values. They change in all the sheets. Another place you could have done, make these changes is when we go to manage, you're going to see the project information. If you come down to the order rollout, you'll see the December 2022 that we have done. You see the project status. You can make changes here. You can, when I come over here and I, instead of writing PHS and I write perfect home services. Okay, if I should say okay right now, it is going to change it over on top of here, perfect home services. So these are places you can make the same changes that will affect everything on your sheet. And this project information, you can do it at the beginning or you can do it at the end. You can even do it in the middle of the project. It doesn't matter. It will still change it without causing any problem. And it is going to do it globally on all the sheets. Now we are going to be putting our floor finishes plan on the empty sheet, and that is as simple as dragging and dropping. So as you can see, when you come down here, you will see the sheets, like I told you before, the sheets that have something on it and the ones that don't. Okay, our floor finishes have nothing on it, so I'm going to select it. So now let's go ahead and add our floor finishes on it. So I'm going to select this L1 architectural floor finishes. I'm going to drag it. It's as simple as that, and I'm going to drop it. When I drop it, I'm going to adjust this view. Okay, mind you, if I should move this thing like this, it is going to move with the view, but there's a way you can move the view on its own. So I'm going to select only that view. Make sure you're not selecting this, select only the view. Now you can move it into place where you want it to be. And now it has a grip handle. When you select this entire stuff, it is going to bring out the grip control for you, so you can select it and drag it in. Now you can make the tail as long as you want. Okay, you can see that this thing is forming a double line. We don't want it to form this double line. So what do? We're selecting it. We'll go inside here. You will find out the name of this element, the annotation family. That is MView title. So I'm going to drop all these things down. I'm going to collapse them so I can get to the family. Okay, I'm going to collapse the sheet. So you see the families. I'm going to drop down this family now. When I drop it down, you're going to see annotation symbols. Then I'm going to go down to M view. Okay, get to M and then find the view. Okay, M view title. So I'm going to right click and then edit. Now, all I have to do is select it and drag it out. Then I'm going to load in and close. And then I'm going to say, no, I don't want to save it. And then I'm going to override the existing. Now, when I do that, you see that it is straight now. It is not going down under. So that's it for adding new sheets to your project file. Now, let's look at how to adjust the sheet composition. All right. Sometimes after placing your views on a sheet, you might want to change the composition of that view on the sheet. Now, when you look at this sheet, you would agree with me that it has a lot of white spaces that are unused around the plan. So I want to fit in both the ground and first floor finishes plan on this same sheet. So to do that, I am going to adjust the size of the viewport so that it is cropped closer to the building geometry for both floor finishes plans. And then I should be able to fit both of them here on this sheet. Okay. So for this process, I'm going to be working directly in this sheet. Okay. Just make sure you're selecting it and then you double click on this. When you double click on this, it is going to activate this viewport. And then you find out that the sheet will now be a little bit graded. So now you can work on it. This is even very handy when you want to be working with the sheet as a reference so that you do something that can fit into that sheet. When you're setting up your scale, when you're doing dimensions, sometimes you want to set up that scale to fit into the sheet so that you know the size of dimension that you are going to use to properly dimension your building. So moving on. Now that I've done this, I want to make this, like I said, I'm going to make this crop region smaller. So when you select it, you find out that you can't actually move it. There are no grip controls here for me to be able to adjust this crop region. So what do? Okay, you come over here in the properties palette. When you come down here, you're going to see scope box. Okay, this crop region is controlled by a scope box. All right. So right now you find that it is set to grids and level. So when I change this to none, you're going to see that the grip handles are going to come out, and with that, we can be able to recrop our views the way we want it. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to use this. I want to do another thing instead. This is only going to be the most viable option when you want to do this for only one or two floor plans. But when you're doing it for multiple floor plans in a situation where you have, say you have like 50 floor plans you want to do this on, this is not going to be, the best way for you to do this. And I'm going to be showing you the best way for you to do this. So when you come to the view tab, you're going to see scope box. All right. Look at it here. You select it and you draw a new scope box very close to this building, like so. All right. When you draw it, it's just as simple as drawing a rectangle around this building. You can even adjust it after drawing it if you prefer. After you have finished drawing it, you're going to see the name here. Okay, I want to rename this thing and I want to call it the floor finishes plan. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it as that. So when I want to now recrop this thing, I'm just going to come over here to the scope box and I'm going to see the floor finishes plan. Finishes floor plan, and I'm going to select it. When I do that, you find out that our scope box has been reduced to this place as we want it. All right. So when I'm done adjusting this scope box, what I want to do is double click. Okay. You have to be very careful. You double click outside. When you do that, it is going to deactivate this view for you. I don't need this. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to hide it in view. EH on your keyboard to hide it in view. That's the shortcut. Or you can if you want to do it manually, okay, without the shortcut, you can just right click here. You see hide in view elements. That is going to hide it for you as well. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to bring it close to this, and then I'm going to move it. You can use your mouse to move this. When you click and you hold, you can move it around, or you can use your arrows in your keyboard to nudge it around the way you want. So I'm just going to nudge this over to this side. All right. Like so. I think I'm going to leave it like this. All right. So when I do this, I want to bring in the other floor plan. That is the first floor finishes floor plan. Okay. So I'm just going to click on this architectural. You're going to see it here. L2 architectural floor finishes. So I want to do the same thing for this floor plan. Okay. So before I do anything, I want to change the scope box of this, because mind you, if I should drag it in, you see the scope box, how big it is showing. I don't want this to enter here, and then I'll start making adjustment. You can adjust it even before placing it. So when you select it over here, you can come down to this scope box, because as soon as I want to know something, as soon as I selected it, these properties started showing me the properties of this view, the L2 architectural floor finishes. So I'm going to come to the scope boxes and I'm going to select it, and I'm going to change it to this, floor finishes plan scope box. So now when I drag it in again, you're going to see it is going to actually be perfect. Okay, so you see it is snapping into place. When I click on it, it is going to snap into place. But then at this point, I don't think I'm going to put it like this. I'm just going to bring it side by side like this. I think this is the best way to do it. Okay, yeah, so that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to bring this down here and then align it a little bit. The same thing goes for this. I will align it a little bit like so. All right. Yeah, I will nudge it around the way I want. All right, so that's how you adjust your sheet composition on your sheets. Now in Revit 2024, you have the ability to duplicate sheets and view. All right, so I'm going to show you how 2 ways you can duplicate these sheets and view in Revit 2024. So the first way I'm going to be showing you, you can see we are going to be using this sheet that we already have here. Okay, I'm going to right click here. When I right click, you're going to see duplicate sheets. All right, the one we are going to be focusing on is duplicate with views. That is the most powerful one. This duplicate empty sheet is like more or less creating a new sheet. This one is going to create a new sheet for you. But if you have something like a test notes or all those specifications on the sheet, it is going to retain it, but it's not going to retain the views that you have on that sheet. But this is going to recreate this sheet with these views that we have on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and select it. And when you now do it, it is going to note that it's going to be duplicating 2 views for you. 2 views on this sheet will duplicate as well. How would you like to duplicate this view? Okay, no, I want to do this one where I'm going to duplicate both the graphics and everything as an independent view. Now that you have done this, over here you're going to see floor finishes copy 1 and then L2 floor finishes copy 1. That is these 2 views that we have just created now. So I want to convert this thing to my dimension plan. How do I do that? This works when you have, like, take for instance, in this drawing, I've already done my dimension plan. Due to the view template, you can see when you come over to this view template, you find out that it is floor finishes. So it is hiding the dimension. So when I want this thing to become the dimension plan, I'm just going to select these 2, select this one and select this other one, go to this view template, change it to the dimension plan, okay, and then hit OK. And like magic, it is going to show us the dimension of this and then hide the floor finishes that were in the other drawing. Like when I come over here now, you're going to see that this has the floor finishes and no dimension. When I come down here, you're going to see dimension and no floor finishes. Now I'm going to select this and then I'm going to rename it. I'm going to rename it to dimension plans, and I'll say okay. Okay, now I'll come over here and I'm going to rename this particular one here. Okay, you can either select it here and rename it here. Okay, I'm going to click end on my keyboard. When I click end, it's going to take me back, and then I'm going to put dimension here, dimension plan. Okay, I might even select it and copy it and then click out of there. Then when I come over to this place, you can just click it again like so, and then you can be able to change it to dimension. These are ways you can rename this thing, dimension plan. So when you come down here, you're going to have the view that you want to have. Now you can see the first floor plan, you can see the second floor architectural plan, and then you're going to see the dimension plan. Now another way we can do this, okay, I want to hide the crop region, okay, so that it is not confusing for us. Okay, another way we can do this is by coming over here. When you come over here, you notice that we don't have our A102 sheets. Okay, that means we are having the ground floor plan, which is annotated as the first floor architectural plan. That is how this template is naming it. But we don't have the first floor plan. Okay, that's the second architectural floor plan according to this template. Okay, so how do we do that? We are going to duplicate these sheets. Okay, duplicate this sheet with view and then this. Now I'm going to select this and then I'm going to come over here. You will see positioning and view in the viewport center. I'm going to click this. I'm going to change it to view origin because this works best in my experience. So when you select it like that, you come over here. I'm going to change it with L2 architectural. Okay, when I do that, it is going to change it to the first floor plan, okay, which is the second floor plan according to this template. So I can decide to rename it, but that doesn't matter. Let's just focus at the case at hand. So now you have seen how I duplicated this thing. By doing so, I was able to change this using this positioning and view panel to replace the view from what was there before, okay, to get the view I actually want. So as we normally do, I'm going to select this and I'm going to drag this in like so, and there you have it. This is how you can duplicate your sheets and change your views to match the sheet you just duplicated. Now I'm going to select this, okay, and I'm going to change it to architectural floor plan, okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now you can come over here and rename it to whatever you want to rename using the method I've shown you in this video. Now I want us to look at something very important that you can do using the sheets. Okay, and you're going to be doing this with the sheets and also with the help of schedules. Schedules, okay, in case you don't know, schedules have this special ability of being placed on multiple sheets without you running into any problem. As you can see, these sheets, these are graphical views. Graphical views, they don't have this ability. These are already placed on sheets, as you can see, based on these badges, these blue badges. So if I drag it into this sheet, it's going to tell me view is already placed on sheet A301, architectural building sections. Okay, so it is not going to work. But if this should be a schedule, let's open our schedule. This is a schedule. Okay, you can see room finishing schedule, you can see sheet, you can see door schedule. Okay, this is a schedule. So if I should drag it to this, always save whenever Revit asks you to save. So if I should drag this door schedule over here, it is going to be here. Okay, as you can see, it is going to align here. Let's even open this door schedule so we can talk about a few things. Okay, I'm going to shift this to this side now. You will see that we have multiple doors. Some are in the ground floor plan, some are in the first floor plan. Okay, you still look at the way the rooms are numbered. You see 101, 102, 103. These are the rooms that you find on the ground floor plan. When you go to the first floor plan, you're going to see the rooms that are numbered starting with 2. Hence, the doors that are located in such rooms are the doors that can be found in the ground floor. I want you to have this in mind. It is going to play a very important role for us as we go on in this video. Now I can choose to create, if you want to create a new schedule, you can right click here, you see new schedules or quantities. So if you click on it, I want to create just a very simple room. Okay, room schedule. So I want to add the area there and I want to add the room name. Okay, so I'm going to find name. Okay, and I'm going to add the number there too. So I'm going to rearrange this by, I want the number. After the number, I want the name to follow, and then I want the area to follow. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to select the area, and I'm going to move it down twice. So when I finish it, it is going to create it like for me, like so. So I want you to notice something. This room schedule, you can also attach a view template to it so that it will look like others. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to select this typical schedule. And I attach it to it. Now it has applied all these design for me. This video is not about schedules. I'm not going to go deep into this. I just want to show you what you can do with this. So when I do this, okay, you will find out that, let me go back to that room schedule. You find out that all the rooms in this view are here. Okay, you see the same room numbers I told you about that are 208, 209. These are room numbers that are in the first floor, while these are room numbers that are in the ground floor. So I'm going to drag that into this place as well. Okay, when I drag it in, I'm going to keep it close to this. Okay, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep it. So when you place it, you might have to tap to be able to select it. I want to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and then this bigger too. Now you have it like this. So now you can be able to filter what shows on the schedules based on what is happening on this sheet. Now, when you come over here, this is the first floor plan. Okay, this is the first floor plan. I can decide that, okay, I want this thing to show me only the doors. This is door schedule. I want it to show me only the doors that are on this first floor plan and only the rooms that are on this first floor plan. Let's go ahead and do that. So when I select this thing, you can double click it. When you double click it, it takes you into the room schedule, into the door schedule, or you can come over here and double click it. It's the same thing. So I'll just go over to the filter, and all I need to do is filter by sheet. And when I do that, I hit OK. All right. I'm going to open the room schedule and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to do filter by sheet and I will hit OK. So when I close this and close this, so we arrive at the sheet again, you find out that we have lesser item on this schedule, because now everything we are having here is 209, 22222, meaning everything we are having here are stuff that you can find on the first floor plan. The same thing goes on here too. You find that the room schedule are showing us only the rooms that I can find on the first floor plan. So when I copy this now, okay, when I copy it and then I go to the ground floor plan like so, and I paste it in place, I'll go to modify, drop down the paste menu, and then I click on align to current view, and it aligns it. You find out that it is going to show me only the things that are happening on this plan that we're having here. You can see we are going to be having only the doors that are in the ground floor plan and then the rooms that are in the ground floor plan. So that's how you use filter by sheet to show view specific information about the sheet using the schedule. All right. Now let's talk about guide grid feature. Okay. The guide grid feature is designed for one purpose. It allows you line up viewports on one sheet with similar viewports on another sheet. A common example is when you might want to use this floor plan, this particular one here, the floor finishes plan, to align another view, let's say the ceiling plan, in another sheet. Okay. So what we are going to do is first of all, we're going to go and create our guide grid. So you go to the view tab. Here, you're going to see the guide grid. You see the sheet composition panel. You're going to see the guide grid. So you're going to create when you click it and you don't have any guide grid, it is going to ask you to create your guide grid. So I'm just going to leave it as guide grid 1. You can rename it to whatever you want. Okay. You can call it tutorial guide grid 1. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. It is still going to work very well. Guide grid 1. Okay, and then you hit it. When you click OK, it is going to create these grids for you. Okay, it is going to create these grids, these blue grids for you. Okay, and it's going to be overwhelming at start, but work with me. I'm going to show you how best you're going to be doing this. All right. So with this measure between two references tool, I'm going to select it. When you select it, first of all, before we get down to what we need to do, you find out that it is aligning to different things. Okay. That is the way these guide grids work. Guide grid aligns itself to the building geometry and also the datum elements of the building. The datum elements are the grids, the reference plane, and then the level, but we're not seeing any levels here because we are on the ground floor plan. If you want to see level, you have to be on the section or the elevation view. But then we're going to be working with what we have. So I'm going to just come over here, select this, okay, the intersection of that grid. If you're having a hard time selecting the intersection of the grid, you can just hit XI, which is a shortcut for selection of intersection. So when you click it, it is going to give you this distance here. Okay, I want you to copy that down somewhere else. Or I can just copy it 606.3. All right, and I'm just going to select the modified tool, and then I'm going to select this, and I'm going to come inside here and I'm going to paste it inside here. That's the guide spacing. And then when I hit apply, you see the way it is showing now. All right. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to make sure that a full square shows. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move it around till one full square shows. And that's we have been able to do that. And I'm going to move it like so. So I'm going to select this. When I select it, I'm going to go to that intersection. Okay, SI. If you're having a hard time selecting it, it is going to select that intersection for you. So when I do that, you find out that these two grid, these two intersection has been aligned very well with this guide grid. All right. So I'm going to go to an empty sheet. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use this empty sheet over here, and I'm going to go to the ceiling plan. I'm going to select both of them. In Revit, you can actually select two viewports and you're going to drag both of them into this view. And when you do that, it is going to, as you can see, it is going to come in like so. But before I do that, I want to select both of them. I want to select both of them like so. And I want to change their scopes to this scope, the floor plan scope that I created. So I'm just going to drag it over here. And when I do that, you will see that it has aligned itself properly. And then I might want to change the scale of this. I want to change it to 1:50. Okay. And then this one, I want to change it to 1:50. And when I do that, you find out that a lot of things have scattered. Now I want to actually, let me just go in here and use a view template for this. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to remove the scale, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay. Now, I will be needing the help of the guide grid to be able to align this thing properly where I want them to be. Okay, so I'm going to hide this crop region. I'm going to hide the crop region. It doesn't really matter, but I just want to hide it. All right. So if your guide grid is grayed out that you cannot access it, even though you are no longer in an active viewport, all you have to do is select the sheet and then click out of it. You find out that your guide grid will no longer be grayed out. So when you click on it, you say, okay, it is going to recreate that guide grid for you. So I'm going to select this, and then with my move tool, I'm going to come to this intersection and I'm going to move this. Okay, I'm going to move this over here and I'm going to keep it here. This particular one, I'm going to select it too, and I'm going to move this and I'm going to keep it here. All right. And then I'm going to move these viewports. And then when I move this one, I'm going to make sure it is aligned to that first one I placed. All right. So that's how you basically use guide grids to align your view. But this is not the only thing you can do. You can actually use it to align all your floor plan at the same place, so that when you are going through the PDF file, you will notice that the floor plan is so aligned that only little things that change as per the plan that you are on is going to be the thing that will be moving. Everything is going to be at the exact same spot, and that is very good to look at. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. Okay, not only subscribing, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my tutorials. All right. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.